Thank you, Cheryl. Next up is Carol Johnson to speak on behalf of Congressman Ron Paul.
And I would ask you to please hold any applause or profanity until I'm done. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Carol Johnson. Tonight it is my privilege to talk to you about Ron Paul. Before I do that, I would like to briefly tell you who I am. And I do know who I am, but I've written it all down. I need help, so. I have lived in Dubuque for 31 years. I'm a Christian. I've been a member of Grace Baptist Church for 31 years and very recently retired from the Dubuque Community School District. I joined the Republican Party in 1980. I'm a member of the Dubuque Tea Party and recently joined Dubuque County Right to Life. I'm a wife, a mother of 5 grown children, and a grandmother of 5. One of my sons, Jeremiah Johnson, is a Republican Party State Central Committee member and a small business owner in Davenport. Another son is William Johnson of Dubuque. Will is a former Republican congressional candidate. He ran in 2010. And a veteran of Navy intelligence who worked with Israel in the Middle East. He served during 9/11 in the Iraq War. He speaks Hebrew and Chinese as he lived in China for 1.5 years. He's also very active in the Dubuque Tea Party. Both of my sons firmly support Ron Paul and are district co-chairs for Ron Paul's campaign. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to tell you about why I support Ron Paul and why I firmly believe he is the only candidate who will put an end to big government, big spending, status quo in Washington, D.C., and restore freedom and prosperity to America. Ron Paul is married to his high school sweetheart. Her name is Carol, and together they have 5 children and 18 grandchildren. Besides his work in politics, Dr. Paul is an OBGYN, you may not have known that, who has delivered over 4,000 babies, and he strongly believes that life begins at conception and must be protected. He is 100% pro-life and has sponsored bills that would repeal Roe v. Wade and end abortion. Ron Paul is also an Air Force veteran, having proudly served our country as a flight surgeon in the Air Force and in the National Guard. While in the military, Ron Paul took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. As a member of Congress, he's taken a similar oath with one hand on the Bible and the other held high. And as a Christian, an oath to God is something that Ron Paul takes very seriously. That's why during his entire time in Congress, Dr. Paul has never voted for a single piece of legislation that wasn't expressly authorized by the Constitution. He's never voted for a tax increase. He's never voted for an unbalanced budget. He's never voted for gun control, and he has never voted to increase the debt ceiling. Besides his voting record, I truly admire Ron Paul for the fact that he lives his faith and his principles consistently. You can examine his life closely, folks, and look at it. It's real. For example, as a medical doctor, Ron Paul had 2 rules in his office. First, absolutely no abortions. Second, his office refused to accept any federal funds. But they didn't turn patients away. Instead, he treated them at discounted prices. And if they couldn't afford that, he treated them for free. And Dr. Paul has continued to live his values while in Congress. That's why he doesn't participate in the lucrative congressional pension program. He's never voted to increase his own salary. He's never taken a government-paid junket, and he returns a portion of his office budget back to the Treasury Department every year. Ron Paul has been warning of the dangers of the out-of-control Federal Reserve for years, and as president, he will fully audit the Fed and fight to restore sound money in America. As the only candidate to have accurately predicted the economic mess we're currently in, years before it happened, Ron Paul knows what it will take to get our economy moving in the right direction again. And he's offered a real plan to do just that. His plan to restore America cuts $1 trillion in spending during the first year of his presidency by eliminating 5 unconstitutional departments, and it balances the budget during his 3rd year. And he does this without cutting 1 penny from Social Security, veterans benefits, or national defense. You see, Dr. Paul understands that national defense is the primary and most important function of our federal government. He voted for the use of force in Afghanistan after 9/11, and he supported going after Osama bin Laden and other terrorist leaders. As president, he will lead the fight to secure our borders instead of policing the one between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Our troops understand that Dr. Paul knows what it takes to keep America safe, which is why he has received more contributions from active duty members of the military than all other Republican candidates combined. That speaks loudly to me. Finally, we are serious about defeating President Obama in 2012. If we are, we must make sure that Barack Obama, not the Republican nominee, is the one who will have to apologize for supporting the $700 billion TARP bailout and the individual mandate central to Obamacare. The truth is, Dr. Paul is the only candidate who we can trust to put a stop to the out-of-control spending in Washington, D.C., and polls have shown him defeating Barack Obama in a head-to-head matchup. That's why I'm supporting Ron Paul tonight, and I hope you will too. Thank you.